Friends, welcome back. It is the day before Thanksgiving, and I thought we could have a little powwow, a little anchoring moment as we head into not just the holiday of tomorrow, but the holiday season. I know that I feel like people fall into one of two camps about Thanksgiving and then also just kicking off the holidays. And my plan is to attempt to walk the tightrope between the two and make sure that everyone feels seen and known and heard and spoken to. And this is going to be just a little like FaceTime, voice memo, best friend conversation to set us up for success for tomorrow, because there's two camps, right? There's the people that maybe have a level of dread or I don't just feel some kind of way about Thanksgiving, family dynamics, the pressure, the expectations. And then there's the people that really, really love it, that are thriving and ready to roll. And the hope is that you're going to hear me say the word intention a whole bunch, because on one side of things, if this is a more negative time of the year for you and it's harder, the reality is that you're the only person that you can speak to and that you can really control. And how you go into tomorrow and into the holidays will impact the kind of experience you have, even if you feel some kind of way about it, which is completely understandable. And I'm not here to try to toxic positivity our way out of our feelings. I just want to speak to what we can control. And then if you're on the side of things where you really love this and you have a more positive Thanksgiving vibe going on, I can also speak from the experience that can kind of snowball away from us and turn into, I don't know, maybe becoming a little bit of a tyrant and really high expectations and a lot of pressure on yourself. And so the reality is that those things exist no matter how you feel about Thanksgiving and about the holidays. And so I just wanted to speak into it a little bit because I've been in both camps. And a really big turning point for me with the holidays and with Thanksgiving was 2023, where I completely burnt myself out. I had insane expectations of myself and of other people and lots of stress and lots of saying yes to everything. And I don't know if I've burnt out that hard in a long time. Ended up really, really sick. And I remember on my sick bed being like, I can't do this again. And that's looked like a lot of boundaries and saying no to things, which we're going to talk about in, I think, a week or two. I have a whole episode about that. But also, it was intentions. It was setting intentions for everything that I went into. And I'm a big journaling girly. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you know that. And I've got some just little, I don't know, grounding, rooting practices that I'm going to walk you through that I do before everything that I walk into. So for Thanksgiving tomorrow, and this is not like, I love a solid hour of me time with a journal and the Holy Spirit, but sometimes that's just not realistic. And so you can get through this in 5 to 10 minutes. And I think it makes a really big impact. I do this before I go to like Thanksgiving or before I go to a Christmas party or an event or Christmas Day. I do this before like vacations and meetings. It's just grounding and it's rooted, and I wanted to walk you through it because I think it's really helpful. And so out the gate, the first thing you have to do is be realistic about how you feel about what you're walking into, good or bad. If that is excitement and expectation and you love your family and you can't wait to be together, I want you to write that out. Write out what you're excited about and just how you feel about it. If it's negative, or the most likely option here is that there's some kind of mix of the two, right? But if it is holistically negative, let it out, boo. Get it out. Talk about the person that you don't really want to be around and that you're not looking forward to walking on eggshells and that you feel like everything lands on your shoulders. Whatever it is, get it out. Like I said, I think it's going to be some combination of the two. It likely falls into some categories of expectations, pressure, old wounds or trauma, the family roles that we all slip into, busyness, decision fatigue. Wanted to just remind you that you are not a bad Christian, daughter, mother, sister, friend, if you feel some kind of negative way. I think Courtney Lantigua, who's one of my favorites, she's been talking about spiritual bypassing lately, and I think I'm going to try to dive into that. I'm still learning about it, so I don't feel super equipped to do a whole deep dive on it. But I think sometimes we bypass the way we really feel about things because we think it makes us a bad Christian, and that's not helping anybody. And this is you and your journal and the Holy Spirit. Okay? So just be really honest about how you feel. And then from there, I have 3 questions for you to ask yourself now that you've gotten honest about how you're looking forward into things. And it is, what do I want to carry into tomorrow? What do I need to leave behind? And what kind of presence do I want to bring? And I'm very visual. If you followed me for any amount of time, your girl loves a mental picture. And so I literally will put this into like buckets or baskets in my brain. What of all of those feelings, right, that I just went through, what do I actually want to carry forward into tomorrow? And what do I need to leave behind? And then though that all kind of culminates into the presence that you're going to bring. And I can tell you for me, the answer is almost always a presence of peace. I just want to bring peace to the table, not perfection, not performance, not, maybe I don't feel super joyful and fun and playful. That's an ideal, and to be honest, it's something that I'm working towards right now. Personally, like I want to feel playful and fun again, but I'm also not going to force it. I'm not going to pretend. And so releasing the need to be this some kind of picture of what you think you should be is not what I'm asking you to release the picture of what you should be and be honest about where you are and what presence you want to bring into Thanksgiving and into the holidays beyond it. Maybe yours is one of presence. You just want to be there. You want to be present. You want to see the things happen. You want to be able to see people if they're struggling or if they're rejoicing and meet them right in it. Another great word that I've used when describing how, like, what presence, it's funny, like I was like, the presence that I want to bring is presence, but that works. Another one is just feeling whole. Because I think when we feel less than or unworthy, then that's when the wheels can really start to turn or spin, and we can get really performative and really perfectionist. And it can be easy for some people in the presence of certain members of our family or our friends to not feel like we're enough. And so I want to feel whole. I want to bring a presence of wholeness so that I am settled and I am rooted and I am able to be who I am and bring what I have to bring to the table and not feel like I have to perform. So some other words is gentleness that I went back through, like when I've written this down. Curiosity. Maybe if you are going into an especially difficult dynamic, you're like, I want to bring a presence of curiosity. Help me understand. That one can be a little bit more spicy, but maybe that's where you're at this year. Or just simplicity. We hosted a Friendsgiving last week, and I was very honest with our friends that were coming, and told them multiple times, I want everybody to lower your expectations. We are going to cook good food. I'm going to put some extra leaves in our table so that I'm going to extend the table and make it big enough for everyone to sit at. And that's about it. I didn't make a cute cocktail bar. I didn't make signage. Because it's just not the season that I'm in. I've done that before and I love it. I am not hating on hostessing, but if simplicity is what the presence that you need to bring into tomorrow, I think that is the vibe. Oftentimes when a woman walks into an abortion clinic, she is really scared and she's alone and she doesn't really know what to expect. Preborn is there to meet her and give her a free ultrasound. And seeing an ultrasound and hearing her baby's heartbeat can double a woman's chance at choosing life. And Preborn doesn't stop there. They walk with that woman with counseling and community and financial resources up until 2 years after the baby is born. And this year alone, 38,000 babies have been saved by preborn services. It costs $28 to give a free ultrasound to a woman considering abortion. And you can go to preborn.com/speakeasy, make that donation, and essentially become a hero and potentially save a life by helping a woman see her baby and hear the heartbeat. That is preborn.com/speakeasy, and you can help save a life today. Now, the overarching, like, if how you want the presence that you want to bring, whatever that word is, I have a little bit of a secret of how to get there, and it's kind of the same thing every time, and it's gratitude. God has done such a number on me with gratitude this year. I listened to a podcast probably 6 months ago, and the guy was talking about the power of what you do first in the morning. And I'm going to be honest, I've always kind of thought the whole writing out the things that you're grateful for was a little repetitive and maybe not effective. But lately, I've had a very curious attitude and kind of a why not? I'll try it. I mean, it can't hurt. I'm not going to try things that are going to hurt me, but and having that attitude towards things has led me towards so many good things lately. And come to find out, just writing down little gratitudes builds your gratitude. Like, it builds your gratitude muscle. Just like God giving you opportunities to practice your faith grows your faith muscle, using your gratitude muscle. So then if you start your day, if I start my day by writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for, then throughout the day, I'm looking for the things I'm going to write down tomorrow. And then when you're looking for gratitude, you see it more often. And when you're more grateful, then all of those words that we used, present, curious, simple, joyful, peaceful, they flow out of that gratitude. And so, but I'm not talking about performative gratitude. Okay. I'm not talking about kind of like the spiritual bypassing. Oh, I'm so grateful for this like terrible thing that happened. Okay. Let's be realistic here. Maybe as we grow in our journey with Christ, we get there. I'm not there yet. I am not at a place where I can like look at something awful happening and have gratitude for it. Now, I have grown to where I feel like the time between something bad happening and feeling grateful for it or being able to see what God was doing is getting shorter. And I'm thankful for that. But no, like when I'm in the throes of it, no. So backing us up just to make sure we're going through this practice. So it's being honest about how you feel. Prepare, like asking those questions. What do I want to carry in tomorrow? What do I want to leave behind? What kind of presence that I want to have? And then acknowledging that whatever the presence you want to have flows out of gratitude. And so understanding that while we don't want to be performative in our gratitude, it is a choice. And if you make the choice of gratitude, a lot of the time that comes before the feeling. If you're waiting to feel grateful and this season is particularly difficult for you, it may not come. You may have to lead with a choice. And so write down 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for from today or leading into tomorrow. Here's some ways to find those things. Where have I seen God sustain me lately? What small thing am I overlooking that's actually a gift? That one's huge. There are so many small gifts in our days. And I'm talking a spontaneous hug from a kid that maybe had a hard day, or, a long kiss from your husband when you haven't seen each other, or someone doing something for you that's small, but actually was meaningful. And so a lot of the time we've got to kind of get into the nitty gritty and really find the things that we're thankful for. And then where can I choose wonder over worry? Oh, this is hard for me. This is like one of those things where I'm telling you these things that I am in practice and process on. I'm in it. Like, I'm in the trenches on all of this. And so I don't know if I ever am capable of coming to you and being like, oh, I've figured this out and here's how you do it. No, I'm always like, this is what I'm doing and it's working, but I'm still very in progress. And so wonder over worry. I have that written over on my bathroom window or mirror right now. Because I'm a worrier, if you hadn't noticed. And I don't want that to be how I lead my life. And so sometimes wonder is lighting a candle or standing and really enjoying a clean kitchen or seeing how far a relationship has come. So those three things I would say. So once we've nailed down gratitude and we've acknowledged that everything flows out of that. And then also, sorry, the last one is, and I posted about this the other day, just taking a moment to thank Jesus for your salvation. That is the most wonderful baseline for gratitude. My pastor says that all the time. When's the last time you thanked Jesus for your salvation? I think, especially if you grew up in the church or you've been walking with Jesus for a long time, we can kind of forget the cost. And I don't ever want to do that. I want every day to live in the shadow of the cross and remember what he did, what it cost him, and what it gave me. So then I like to take just a moment for the family dynamics and maybe set some necessary emotional boundaries. If Let me just say this. The older that I have gotten, my husband and I have this conversation often. The older that I have gotten, the more I have come to understand that there is no perfect family dynamic. Yours may be healthier than other people's, or yours may be more psychotic than other people's, but we get this idea that everybody else is living in Mayberry and ours is the only crazy one. And that is a lie from the pit of hell to keep you comparing and miserable. And I'm not saying that there aren't difficult family dynamics, because, yeah, there definitely are. But if those dynamics exist on a sliding scale and we think we're off the deep end because we think everybody else is perfect, I just want to remind you that I don't talk about personal family dynamics, extended family dynamics on the internet because it's just not my gig. But like, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. I could fill a documentary with stories. Okay. So being around family, regardless of the dynamic, can activate a lot in us. It can make us go straight into people pleasing, even if you've been growing in that all year. It can take you straight into comparison. Maybe it makes you very conflict oriented. Maybe you carry emotional responsibility for other people. And I think that a good thing to do is remind yourself that you can show up tomorrow as who you are today, not who you used to be and not who they expect you to be. Maybe people expect you to be a doormat and God has brought you out of that. That's great. Walk in that, please. Don't let the work that Jesus has done in you go dormant and be hidden under a bushel for tomorrow. Maybe, or the opposite is true. Maybe you've always been a rough rider and you've been there to ruffle feathers and Jesus has softened your heart this year. Don't let all of your walls go back up that he's spent the year pulling down. I know it feels scary. I know it feels dangerous, any of those options. But first of all, you're not responsible for how other people perceive you. Ugh, like, everything inside of me is like, no, that's not true. But it is. It really is. And I'm a work in progress on that. And so if you have set the intent, whatever the intention is that you set of the presence that you want to bring into tomorrow, that has to be able to withstand the family dynamics that you're walking into. And you can do that with Jesus at your side. Not perfectly. Perfection is not the expectation here. But you can carry in peace to a chaotic environment. You can, because the power that raised Jesus from the dead resides in you. You can carry boundaries into a situation where you have never had any. If you're watching this on audio, I'm like looking into the camera very intently. Like, do you hear me? Big sister energy. You can. What presence do you want to bring into it? Now, infuse Jesus into that. Ask him for the power. And I feel like I have repeated Proverbs 3:5 7 billion times this year, but it like wasn't my verse for the year, but then kind of accidentally became it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. between now and tomorrow, maybe memorize it. And when you feel the pull or the desire to bend or break or walk away from the intention that you set, I'm going to trust in the Lord with all my heart. I'm not going to lean on my human understanding of this dynamic, of this expectation, of this pressure, of who I think I'm supposed to be. I'm not going to lean on my own understanding. I'm going to acknowledge Jesus. How can I acknowledge Jesus in this moment, in this conversation, in this conflict, whatever it is? I'm going to acknowledge him and he will make my path straight. He will walk me through parted waters. Do you believe it? Yes, you do. So that's what I do. That is what I run through before I head into the holidays or a big event or whatever, so that I feel centered and grounded. And then when I am actually going into it that day, I love to ground. Go touch grass. Take off your cute shoes. Go touch grass. And repeat either you can steal Proverbs 3:5. You can have it. Or another verse that really speaks to who you want to be and the presence that you want to carry into this, and ask Jesus to enter into it. Like, do that before all of the crazy starts. And then maybe, I don't know, do it in the middle of it. I was telling y'all the other day that I have started setting alarms. I think mine are like 11:45, 2:30, and 6 o'clock. Go outside, touch grass, connect with Jesus really intentionally. Maybe, make sure that the turkey doesn't burn. But when everybody's in their post Thanksgiving coma, go walk outside, ground, reconnect with Jesus, kind of evaluate with him. Intentionality is the name of the game. That is how we do this well. And my hope and my prayer is that tomorrow is softer than you expect it to be, that your gratitude feels like an anchor, not performative, that God meets you in the kitchen, outside, that he meets you at the table, that he meets you in the car if you're traveling, he meets you in the laughter and in the quiet, and even in the complicated parts of being in a family. And that this season begins not with pressure, but with peace. And the remembrance that we can do this well, regardless of what we're up against, because we go with God. We are not doing this from our own understanding or our own power. We're leaning on him. And so that's our little anchor session. I hope that this was helpful. Write these things out in your journal today. Take a moment, light a candle, write them down, set your intentions. Even more fun to do it with your kids. I haven't, but I just thought of that. It's like, I should totally bring my children into this. What kind of presents do you want to bring into Thanksgiving and into the holidays? And what are you grateful for? This could be a family practice, or look, I'm not going to it's also really great to just do it by yourself. If you just need a minute. If the idea of doing this with your kids, you're like, oh, I really just need a moment for yourself. Yeah, girl, do that too. All right. I love you. Your girl is all about informed consent, even and especially when it comes to health insurance. Health insurance can be really confusing, frustrating. It's one of those things where you're paying for it, but a lot of time it doesn't feel like you are. And that is why I'm so thankful for health insurance alternatives like Crowd Health. With Crowd Health, you pay your monthly fee and you get access to a team that's going to negotiate your bills. Your prescriptions and labs are going to be a better, more affordable cost. You get access to their database with really great vetted doctors at a low cost. And then if something big happens, you pay the first $500 and then the rest of the crowd, the other members, jump in and they pay the rest of it. And this is how health insurance is meant to work. So this open enrollment, take your power back, join Crowd Health to get started today for $99 for your first 3 months using the code SPEAKEASY at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com, code SPEAKEASY. And Crowd Health is not insurance. This is how you opt out. You take your power back. This is how we win. Go to joincrowdhealth.com.